fireworks, family time at the beach. Those are cornerstones of the 4th of July holiday weekend, but safety is also key when celebrating.
Yeah, joining us this morning is Dr. Anjali Bharati, who treats 4th of July related incidents firsthand at the emergency room at Lenox Hill, Greenwich Village. So, doctor, great to see you. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me.
So first and foremost, let's talk about this before we get to the injuries in the fireworks department. A 14-year-old obviously drowning yesterday at Rockaway Beach. You know, when you're going into the summer months, do you see more water-related injuries?
Yes, definitely. It's super important to be safe at the beach or around any water-related activity. Lots of people have their pools open. They've got small kids around the pools. It's really important that people remember to put vests and flotation devices on your kids, especially if they're not strong swimmers, and to remember that the beach is not exactly a safe place. There's rip currents and rip tides and things that can make injuries really prevalent, especially in the summertime.
Yeah, and it's not just the beach. If you have a pool, your private pool or the public pool, since they just opened, those are things that you really need to be aware of.
Definitely, definitely, and especially in the summertime, we're all in a good mood. 4th of July is a time to celebrate, and everyone's in a great festive mood and wanting to spend time outdoors, which is super important. It's good to get in the sunshine, but it's also important to remember to practice a lot of safety when you're having fun this summer.
Yeah.
But it's not just water related. You know, if you're heading outside, you have to pay attention to, because not all kids are going to say, I'm too hot, I didn't drink enough water, because of a lot of dehydration, right?
Correct.
Overheating.
And heat exhaustion and heat stroke. It's really important to remember some of the signs and symptoms, like if your friends, family members, or kids seem very exhausted, very sleepy, they're not sweating. Those are important signs that might indicate sort of heat illness or heat injury, and it's important to get them in the shade, get out of the heat, and hydrate. And spend time in the shade and cooling off, particularly between the peak hours. 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. is super high risk.
Yeah, you know, I'm a new parent, and I had a friends over this weekend, and I put my daughter outside barefoot, and my friend actually touched the ground to make sure that the ground wasn't too hot for her. And I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm making sure that the ground isn't too hot. I didn't even think of it.
Yeah.
And I felt like a terrible parent. But, you know, do you see kind of like burn injuries from just like hot pavements or?
Yeah, hot pavement. Some of the platforms in the play areas can get really hot as well.
Playground equipment.
They've replaced a lot of playground equipment, but a lot of it is not very heat intolerant, so it absorbs the heat. So slides, especially metal steps, things like that, it's really important to wear shoes. I'm really impressed with the water features at a lot of the parks. For me, I'm like, wow, the water features are a great way to cool off your feet, to stay cool, and I see a lot of parents putting hats on their kids, reapplying the sunscreen. Those are all really important things, and keeping in mind the temperature of the pavement is really important. And I have seen little toddlers who refuse to keep their shoes on with the little burns on the bottoms of their feet. So that's a really important tip to keep aware of.
Got to be careful of sunburns too.
Yeah, very, very important. Sunburns can deplete you of water and cause a lot of damage to the skin, and so we really want to make sure that people are safe this summer and try to avoid all those things.
Let's talk fireworks safety too, because while that was going on in my backyard, there were kids in another backyard that were lighting off fireworks, and it was making me super nervous because I was like, why are they doing this in their backyard? So what kind of injuries do you see? So
handheld fireworks in particular are the most common injuries that we see. We see burns of the hands, burns of the face, and sometimes the composition of those fireworks can be a bit unpredictable. So something you wouldn't think that explodes normally might explode. So like a sparkler, that seems like a very tame device to hand to a child, but actually if it explodes or the sparks fly, it can definitely cause burns and injuries to the face and hands. Those are some of the things we see, particularly over July 4th. There's a lot of burns and injuries, and you know, so I really, really encourage people to avoid handling fireworks altogether. We have the most amazing fireworks display in the world. Leave it to the professionals. Do not get out there and really, really keep your kids away. That's super important.
Yeah, and of course, you know, with the fireworks and people getting together with family and friends that want to celebrate, they might overdo it a little bit in the drinking department.
Correct, and alcohol, you know, can deplete your body of water, can leave you dehydrated. Of course, there's a judgment factor. Your judgment is really impaired, and you might not notice that your kid is inching toward the pool or, you know, about to handle a sparkler or something like that. So really trying to keep all these safety tips in mind is really important, especially with the drinking and celebration going on. We want to really be aware and try to minimize those injuries this weekend.
So important. Thank you so much. You know, what about overdoing it on the American flag cake? there too much there?
You mean making it, eating it,
Overeating.
overeating it? Well, maybe that's
Yeah.
probably the most tame of all
Right,
of the
okay,
things you could
gotcha.
overdo this summer.
Okay.
Eating a little bit of extra
Yeah.
cake is probably okay.
A little extra.
A little bit of tummy ache. All
Right,
right.
exactly.
Dr. Bharati, thank you so much for coming, and we appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Nice to meet you
And have a
guys.
safe holiday.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you.
All right.